Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. It feels like it's been a while since I've sat down and done a video, recorded a voiceover, but I am back. I'm so sorry that I missed last week's upload. I've been incredibly busy. If you've been following me on any of my social medias, so Instagram or Twitter, then you might have noticed that I've been doing a little bit of DIY in my house and I officially now have my own office space, which is super exciting. So thank you to my husband for moving out of the office so that I can have my own space, but it's just been really busy. And then up until that point I was doing some brand collaborations and of course Horse Ranch was released, so I feel like I had a really busy sort of like 2 or 3 week period, and the break probably did me really good, although I didn't actually intend to have a break. But I am back and we are working on a 64 by 64 lot in Chestnut Ridge today, and we are building a kind of like horse training equestrian centre. But what's really exciting about this particular lot is that your Sims can also hang out here. There's a bar, there's seating, there's a cozy fireplace, there's stables, there's like training grounds so your Sims and their horses can learn how to jump and work on their training. But it's just kind of like a multi-purpose lot, and it's something that I've been wanting to build for, well, pretty much since the Horse Ranch pack came out, and I finally had the time to do it. I was working from a reference image that I found. I think I found this on Google Images. I don't think this is from Pinterest, but I will put it on screen for you now so that you can see what we're working towards. I did take some creative liberties here and there because I tend to do that with my builds anyway, just to make sure that I'm adding like my own spin on them. But that's essentially what I ended up doing with this build, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. I think it's got a really nice vibe, and the fact that it's multi-purpose is just, I think it's really handy when it comes to gameplay. So you'll have to let me know what you think in the comments down below. But I did end up including every inch of footage that I actually recorded with this build, because we'll talk a little bit more about it when we get onto it, but essentially the front area here, like where the paddock is, it changes. And the reason that I'm mentioning this is because ordinarily I would cut that out, but I want to take you through the entire process that my brain was sort of going through with this build. Because, right, okay, let's be honest, I think if you have been around the channel for a little bit, then you'll already know that me and community lots don't necessarily mix. Like, I don't think I build the best community lots, so then I don't tend to build them. So I'm never going to get better at building community lots if I never build them, right? So I figured, okay, let's give it a go. And it's a bit of a rocky sort of process. But I wanted to show you this because I wanted to be quite raw and real with you all, and just show you that because I build in The Sims so much, that does not mean for 1 second to say that like things come easily to me, because more often than not they don't. You don't see all the bulldozes that I do, all the do-overs that I do. Like I'll edit it so that it's a more enjoyable experience for you all. But I think sometimes it's really important just to strip that back and just say, look, this was the process. It was really difficult. And so I'm going to talk you through it all. The stables, so just speaking about how difficult it was, the stables are on either side here. So on the left and the right, which is what we're currently working on here. I had the hardest time, like my brain could not comprehend where I wanted the doors to go. And this is the struggle that you will see here. I wasn't getting it. I wasn't understanding it. I actually started building this not last week, the week before. So 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, I started building this. And it's very rare that I will leave a build for that long and then come back to it. Normally, I'll be like, well, there's a reason I didn't finish it. It's because I don't like it. It's not very good. However, with this one, I was thinking, okay, well, it's been a while since I've put up a video. Community lots are something like that some people ask me to do, so I figured, okay, ticking a box there as well. And I actually had a great time building it. I think it looks fantastic, and don't get me wrong, there are some things that I would change if I were to do this over, but it was a great like learning experience for me, and I'd definitely like to do more community lots. So If you've got any ideas for any community lots, please drop them in the comments down below and I'll take a look and see what I can do. I already have some like ideas as to what I want to do. They don't necessarily have to be horse ranch themed either. They could be any community lot you like. I have a build list on my phone that I like to look at when I'm lacking inspiration or when I'm thinking, okay, so what shall I do for my next build? I'll always load up the notes on my phone and be like, okay, so, oh, yeah, I'm in the mood to build that today. Let's do that. I also want to go back to doing some more on-camera videos, like real-time building videos. I've been looking at starting up streaming. I know I've mentioned this before and nothing has ever come of it. So I feel like it's one of those things where people are like, okay, yeah, Rach, whatever. You say you're going to start streaming and then you never do it. But it's definitely something that I am thinking about now that I have my own space as well. It's going to be much easier for me to sort of navigate around that. My husband's office is now outside, which it sounds really cruel and mean, but he's had a bespoke office built outside. Like, it's absolutely beautiful. So that's the reason that I'm able to have my own office. I digress. But yes, I was just having a think about streaming and things like that. Okay, so this is such a rambly voiceover, I'm so sorry. So this is where I end up changing the training paddock to just one big thing, like one big enclosure. And the reason for this is because when I was looking at the build itself, I was feeling like the 3 separate like paddocks, they just weren't looking very good. I just didn't like how everything fit, how everything was laid out. And so I thought, do you know what? Let's just strip everything back and do one big paddock. And I think it looks cleaner. I think it works better for gameplay. If you want to separate it off, if you download this, go ahead. If you preferred like the way that I did it before, then please feel free to put it back. I just felt like this was a little bit more realistic. Now, what's really funny is that there's actually only 2 jumps in this particular area here. Now, I know you're thinking, okay, well, that's a bit strange, but this is more like leaning towards more of like a realistic sort of vibe. And the reason for this is that I've noticed that a lot of training arenas / paddocks will have like more open and empty spaces so the horses can actually turn and run. And yeah, I didn't want to overload it with too many things either, because that's not very good for gameplay. And I've also noticed, like, in my own gameplay, I mean, it's The Sims. I don't know why I was expecting anything different, but like the animations while they're like doing them are beautiful, seamless. But like, you know, like when your sim sort of like readies itself, ready to do something, and it's quite like it's got to get into the right position. Obviously the horses have to do that when they jump. It's not like a free jumping thing, so I wanted there to be as much room as possible. Now, this is where we pull out the jumps, and this is where I have a little bit of trouble navigating the sort of centerpiece that I've created, which again, after doing a little bit of research into these types of buildings and sort of training arenas, I found that this was like quite common to have like a big center piece. So I tried to create one. Is it the best thing ever? Maybe not, but I think it kind of works. and then what I do decide to do here, so I decide to create like these paddocks that come off the stables too, so that when your sims come here with the horses can have a sleep, they can have a drink, they can eat if they want to, they can socialize with other horses. Your sims can go inside and drink some nectar, order some food, chat with friends, listen to some music. Like, it's perfect. So what I was trying to do is fill every inch of the lot whilst maintaining a slightly less cluttered vibe, because what I did notice when I was doing the research for this build is that it was very clean and sort of prim and proper looking. Does that make sense? Whilst maintaining, again, like the barn sort of feel. I wanted to get some sort of balance between the two. So you'll have to let me know what you think. Did we achieve that? Did we not achieve that? I think we did, but then I'm biased because it's my build. So you'll have to let me know what you think. But anyway, we are finishing up the landscaping here, and then we go inside and start working on the stables. So this is the stables on the right hand side as you're looking at the build, and I didn't record the other, like the left hand side, because it's an exact replica of this, and quite frankly, if it was me watching the video, I'm not convinced that I would want to watch it as a viewer, so I ended up stripping that out entirely. I hope you don't mind. nothing went wrong, it's just an exact replica. So I was just thinking it's a more enjoyable experience for you all. But yeah, this is part of the stables. We've got stables on either side. So this is where the horse beds are. There's some decorative pieces, there's some seating areas here. Now what I was thinking, potentially, now logistically, as you can see here, the main area is in the middle. Okay, so that's where the bar is, that's where all the tables and chairs are. But what I was thinking you could do for gameplay, you could lock those doors for Sims to stop like the Sims coming in and out of the stables. Like obviously they need to come in and out to get their horses, but I don't know, I don't want them taking like their drinks in there and stuff. I'm saying I don't want them taking the drinks in there and stuff, like I'm gonna own the place. Absolutely not. If it was me and my gameplay, that's probably what I'd be doing. Anyway, we had some clutter in here. Most of the items are from the Horse Ranch pack because I'm still not over this pack. Like I love it so much. I've got so many more build ideas with this pack as well for Chestnut Ridge, and I feel like I'm going to explode with all the ideas. I genuinely do. Anyway, the stables are nearly finished. I'm just adding some decorative pieces, to the walls here and just trying to make it look a little bit more. I didn't want it to be too plain or too bare or look like I didn't really pay any attention to the detailing, but I also wanted, again, it to be really suitable for gameplay. But I really like how like the paddocks are sort of separated at the back as well, so like directly off the stables is where your horses can get hay and water, and then behind that they've got like those giant oversized balls that they can play with, which I think is really cute. And then if you wanted to as well, I suppose you could put some like barrel racing. It's not called barrel racing, is it? Oh yes, it is. It is called barrel racing. You could put them in the back if you wanted to, or you could add some more jumps. Whatever you want to do, really. Now, this is where I have a little bit of I didn't have a meltdown as such, but I decided to include this in the footage because I was saying at the beginning, I'm trying to be a little bit more open and transparent with my footage. So I was initially going to do like a balcony that sort of looks over with like a separate seating area. Unfortunately, because of like the roof detailing on the 3rd floor, it just wouldn't allow for it. So there isn't actually anything on that 2nd floor. If you want to add some like dance floors up there or anything, then you can do, but that's not necessarily the vibe that I wanted to particularly go for with this community lot, and that's absolutely fine. It's got room to grow if you want it to. So this is the bar area here. I think this looks absolutely fantastic, and I think it works so beautifully. Now, would a place like this exist in real life? Probably not. It's probably not a good idea to serve nectar when you're going to be riding a horse, but it's The Sims. It's a bit of fun and it's something a little bit different. So this was what my brain was thinking when I was coming up with what to do with the inside of here, and I just figured it's better to have your Sims be able to actually do something than just have this as vacant spaces or more stables that you can't really use. So if you've got any better ideas for the interior, please feel free to renovate as you need to. But this was my idea. I think it works really well. I would definitely like to see, well, obviously I play tested this, but I'd love to see you guys with your Sims in here and your horses. It was really funny because while I was play testing, I brought like a family and a couple of their horses over, and the horses were just wandering inside and like listening to the music and bopping along. It was brilliant. It was just quintessentially Sims, and it made me smile from ear to ear. Anyway, what I decided to do here was add like a nice, not formal seating area, but like a seating area in front of this fireplace here, which I thought was so cozy. And then I add some tables and chairs here. It took me a while to figure out that these are like bar stool height. So I was trying to add dining room chairs to them. I'm like, come on, Rach, pay attention. That's not how this works. And I had these beautiful lights above here as well, which look fantastic when you drop down. And when I was taking the screenshots, it looked so good. So you'll have to let me know what you think. But like, I added some bathrooms at the back here. You see those 2 rooms? They're both bathrooms. So this lot literally has everything you could possibly want. But I am going to wrap up here because that pretty much sums up today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this. I had such a blast building this. I'm hoping that my videos are going to be be more regular and as normal. So thank you so much for your patience. But if you would like to download this lot, it's available to download from the gallery. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box below. You can get them for free from Sim File Share. But thank you so much again, everyone, for joining me here today. You all take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye!